was talking to Donna Schmidt about it, and I wanted to try to explain some confusions. I was going to use my studio microphone today, but let's be honest, it's a real biatch to set up. So, because the phone plugs in, instead of trying to go through all the aggravation, I thought it would just make it a little simpler to understand. I'm just trying to adjust this case so it looks better. Okay, there we go. Because this black case that I showed you in the shot on the BlackBerry, actually puts the speaker holes and the microphone hole right in front of me, so you might be hearing me pretty good. I've been contacted regarding Trudy, and I wanted to spray some Lysol in the air, so to speak, because I've been getting a lot of heat by a couple of Trudy supporters, because of what Dory did or to her. Now, when I say Dory did to her, I don't mean she physically did anything. She treated her badly as a caller on her program. Now, first of all, Dory's program and my program are completely different programs. And so, that's the first thing I want to clear the air with, is I have nothing really specifically to do with Dory's program, because Dory just uses my production facilities to do hers. That's probably the only thing that makes me at least somewhat, it's just like if you are a landlord and you have a commercial business, and your commercial business has got a couple of people that are doing things that are not, you don't agree with, but does normally affect the lease of the property. We're not talking about breaking the law. You know, if, for example, if a retail business you have has rude customers and they're and they get into a dispute between the two, it doesn't mean that you as the landlord are guilty for your rude retail tenant, because that's not your fault. Well, okay, so now let me explain what's going on. Trudy has a voice that's very similar to Dory's friend Nancy. Now, the voice is almost the same. So Dory is like, somebody's playing a joke at my friend's expense. And I said, how can you say that? Well, they made us sound the same as Nancy. I said, Dory, you realize there are people that do sound similar to each other, especially on the phone? She said, no. Someone digitally recorded her and is now using pieces of what Nancy had said to, Dory. There are people that sound like me. It doesn't mean that they're me. Okay, I met people that sound like me, and they really are good people. They just sound like me. I don't say when I talk to them on the phone or when I meet them in person that they're impersonating me, because that would make no sense. First of all, Dory, you're not exactly, it's not worth to go through that kind of aggravation to make up some kind of baloney saying that someone's going to sound like your friend. First of all, when they don't even know your friend. Second of all, you are basically small fry. You know, you're just starting on YouTube and your YouTube career, and already you have shown one caller total disrespect for her well-being on your program, and that's not appropriate behavior for any commentator. Okay, I've worked in mainstream media. I've worked, for the Gilbert Sting newspaper, which was originally published in the Winston Courier. I worked for the Daily Campus newspaper at UConn. I work for UConn Student Television. I also have, personal experience working with other professionals in the mediums, such as radio and television, and of course also in the newspapers. It is not appropriate behavior to do that. You should never, ever treat somebody with such disdain, because she treated you nice, and yet you went out there and attacked her outright. Well, first, here's what I want to clear the air. I did not support and condone her action on her program. I did not egg her on. I do not have, I do not believe her actions were appropriate. So I wanted to just make sure you understand that maybe, well, some of you may think I might be a little crass and a little rude because of my hearing loss. I want to tell you that I did not feel comfortable being accused of being an accomplice to such unprofessionalism. At the same time, I wanted to also explain to you that what's going on with this, white cry 2.0 worm that has been spreading like wildfire all over the internet, and particularly affecting Microsoft patches. This exploit was created by the NSA and the CIA. Hacking, shadow hackers found an exploit inside like CryptoLocker. And like CryptoLocker encodes everything on your computer and demands money that you have to pay back to get your stuff unlocked. Every time I think of how much of the digital tools that they stole from the National Security Agency and the Central Intelligence Agency, I realize that this is much likely that every single Macintosh owner may also be exploited, as well as every Debian owner if they choose to go that route. And of course, every iPhone owner, every Android owner, especially older Android devices and old iPhone devices like mine. It's not fair, but you know what? We live in a dangerous age, and we have people who are doing bad things to each other, sometimes out of revenge, sometimes out of greed. In the case of this ransomware, WiCry 2.0, I never even said WiCry 1.0. It's very simple. It causes problems. A couple of years ago, about a year ago, a CryptoLocker, I don't know with the Maine Police Department, one in the small town in Maine. They went ahead and they paid this $500, $600 in Bitcoin because they realized that with all the forensic data and police files and timesheets and everything on the computers that were affected, that they could have decided that we're going to pay the CryptoLocker and get our key back so we can get ourselves locked. Or otherwise, we're going to have to basically shut down the entire police department. And while we try to figure out a replacement and try to get all the forensic data and stuff back for crimes that are being prosecuted. Now, right now in the National Health Services in the UK is the ones who are being affected by this. They are finding themselves beside themselves, and many of the NHS how they can't even guarantee that they can even successfully register patients for elective surgeries or even for emergency triage treatments. Theresa May at the UK, which is the is well aware of this and is obviously waiting to hear if the NHS can come up with an answer. So we live, like I said, we live in dangerous times, and these kind of behavior is. I wish some of the black cats would have done something better instead of creating a virus that causes so much damage. How about create a virus or worm, like deliberately just, they don't think they're doing good. That's not their job. But one thing I can think of is how about creating a virus that's a good virus that actually, say, protects your computer against exploits. Well, with the zero-day exploits that were created by the NSA and the CIA, now clearly it would have been possible that somebody could have said, well, you know what? Now that we know, let's build patches to protect people's computers from them. And that would have been a great thing. But somebody, Microsoft said, well, we're going to get the fix out, but it's only going to be for Windows 7 and newer. Windows XP won't be getting patches, and that's a really big mistake, because the computers in these hospitals from NHS and many others are embedded machines using Windows XP. So those computers had no patches available to them. Microsoft refused to make those kind of patches available. The same thing is true with older operating systems for Android and iOS, and of course the Apple Macs, PowerPC Macs, and of course Intel-based Macs that are running anything older than the current Mac OS operating system. It's not called OS X anymore because it's called Mac OS. I think it's El Capitan or something like that. It's the newest one. I have Snow Leopard, so on my Intel Mac, and I have tried Lion on it, but Lion is just too large. That's why it's called Lion, right? And it's sweat, metaphorically speaking, as it only has like about 3 gigabytes of RAM. I think was the most I could get out of it was about 2, but it was supposed to be able to get 3 gigs, but it didn't happen that way. So, of course, my Intel Mac is definitely affected because it uses the same same chipset as the most of the Windows boxes do, because it's using Intel processor. My PowerPC Macs are protected because at this point, nobody from these shadow hackers has created a PowerPC worm, but there is something you can do to help protect yourself. These things have always been there. The rules of the game have always been there. And one of the most important things is, unless it's a message you really know who it's coming from, because it's a worm, it's not, it has a payload in it. It's a zip file that's part of Windows. We've seen this many times. So people download a message and they see this zip file, and they go click on open the zip file, and it executes a program inside the zip file, which plants the payload right inside your computer. A worm, for example, then goes ahead, goes in the scanning mode, as Barnacle explained, and then it looks for the next vulnerable machine without the patch to protect your system from damage, and that is how it spreads. And it's gotten around to over 99 countries at this point. It's huge. In fact, the Bitcoin wallet of these crackers right now, I'm going to call them crackers because they're not hackers, because hackers are good people for the most part. I am considered a hacker, even though I'm really out of date. It's the hackers. We do things like we do for fun, but not to cause harm. Crackers try to exploit things to cause damage to people, so that's not really the same. Experiment with technology for the sake of experimenting to learn, okay? So I really don't like to see the term hacker being used in a negative connotation, but the mainstream media has felt that all hackers are bad and all hackers should be placed in front of a firing squad and shot until dead. Well, unfortunately, some of the good ones like me, I'm a white hat. You go out there and you're trying to do things to help the community. And one of the most important things I can say right now is this is an old rule and it still sticks around. Don't open any zip files that you don't know where they're coming from. Okay, I know it's easy to do on my computers. I've seen it done lots of times. But if you don't use that just makes it a little bit harder for the crackers to cause harm. But it doesn't really solve it completely, because you also will want to consider keeping backups of your important files. Now, I do that. I back my stuff up to DLT tape, which I have to get more tape cartridges for because I'm running out of tapes. But I have a whole series of tapes. Remember, I'm just a home computer user for the most part. I don't really store a lot of stuff on the computer. I certainly don't store my files, my photos and files that I want to keep for long term. Pictures, let's talk about that real quick. This is another reason why I film, because with pictures you have physical tangible objects that you can go ahead and later scan back into the computer and make into pictures. I'm talking about the negatives. If you have the negatives, you can always make pictures, right? Right. That's why film is making a major inroads again back into the public eye. I mean, the digital technology is great. As we see here, I'm using my iPhone for this, but it's not long term. It's not going to last forever, and that's a problem. Last thing is it seems the live streams are a little more popular than the vlogs and the bcasts, but I'm not going to be doing a bcast and a vlog on the live stream, but it was just on a regular basis, but just because of the situation with Trudy and also the situation with this Y Cry 2.0, I felt it was important to get this out now and not wait 10, 15 minutes later to upload this. I wanted to make sure you get this out to you so you understand what's going on. But for all those people who are constantly hammering me about the Trudy situation, I personally want to say I understand what you're getting at. I would be willing to talk to Trudy on Google Hangouts. Here's why. But I want to see her face. I want a face. So if you could have Trudy contact me, I would like to talk to her, do an interview with her, and put it on Google Hangouts on air so that we can all clear the air. Because I hear that she's living in Santa Monica, California. She's not exactly going to be running back to Winston right now. Apparently, she's living with Donna. That's what she told me. So, if Trudy wants to contact me to Google Hangouts on air, we will do a live interview on air, and we will try to straighten out this issue as far as how it affects me. Dory right now is out for a few days. She went to Torrington to take care of some personal matters. So I'm here in the studio by myself right now. So I just wanted to, since I had some time to really think about what's going on, I wanted to just make sure you understand that I don't agree with Dory's actions. However, Dory is her own person. She's an adult. She told me she wants to be a female, female Howard Stern-like person. I thought that was disgusting, but, that's Dory for you. I'm not like that. I may have been rude, but the truth is, I don't support rudeness. Even though sometimes it sounds like I do, I really rather be professional when I can. In this case, it was just really important to me to clear up the matter at hand. Now, if you guys would like me to cover this story in more detail, I need to know the information about where is this so-called petition, where is this website the petition's hosted on, and how to contact Trudy myself for an interview on my show, either through Google Hangouts or maybe, it should probably be the ideal way, because then we can all see each other and hear each other, and I can read her lips and understand what she's saying. Because I also have better sound on my computer, so I can hear better on the computer. Because my computers have to be optimal for my hearing. So, but for the time being, guys, I want you to realize it's overcast right now here in Winston. It's not that warm. I hear we're going to get warmer in the next few days. I don't really know how true that is. So let me take a look. I know this iPhone isn't the most, this BlackBerry isn't necessarily the most, this is really confusing because the iPhone, the Weather Channel app on this phone here is an older app. And right now it says it is 10 degrees Celsius, it is cloudy, and the winds are blowing in the east at 9 kilometers per hour, 77%. Chance of humidity, UV index is 2, is low, it's overcast, that's why. But then when I go to the 10-day forecast, this is where things get kind of screwy. The software took a while to update. Like I said, I'm not going to trust the Weather Channel because I think they are too full of the IPCC propaganda. So I'm just going to give you the information for today through Monday. Today it says a high is supposed to be 10, 5 degrees Celsius is a low, 100% chance of rain. Sunday, May 14th, high of 14, a low of 8, with 60% chance of rain. Monday, May 15th, 15 is going to be windy. 15 is a high, 8 is a low, 20% chance of rain. And then, according to them, it says it's going to start to get warm again. I've heard temperatures as high as, and I do see one here of 31 degrees and all that, but seriously, guys, I don't trust the Weather Channel anymore. Because they are part of NBC, and NBC supports the IPCC argument of climate change. And I don't know of any other weather site that NBC taint to it. So all I can tell you is just be aware of that. Now, last thing I want to cover, because I want to keep it short because I don't really know how long I'm going to have for battery here, is that my cat's doing better with his injury, and it smells better. It definitely looks like it's starting to heal. He's doing good, and I'm happy to see that. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on it, and apparently some other neighbors too, some special angels doing their job to make sure that he's doing okay. But it's going to take a couple weeks at least for the skin to finish regenerating on that injury. So it's not going to happen tomorrow. But I must tell you that I am happy to see from looking at him this morning that it looks like it's doing better. But for now, I guess that's about it. Are we going to have more live streams in the mornings? I don't know. Maybe not. It depends on a lot of factors, which I may not be able to answer right now. But the most, I hope that we can find a way so that you can participate more in our online chats. And we haven't found any way to make that possible yet. I don't know if maybe some problem is that some of the browsers can't access the online chat directly. It's doable, as I said before. But unless I invite you onto the virtual stage, you can't chat with me either on Google Hangouts. So, on air, that is. So, that makes a problem, too. But we will see what we can do in the future to ameliorate the problems with the phone system and things like that. But for now, I can't do anything at this moment with the phone system. But we will.